Welcome to Polymuse.
Dude, I'm excited for Polymuse. My name's Ben, the excited cousin.
And my name's Michael, the berry-eating cousin.
Ooh. So what's up with the berries in this? We'll get to that. Dude, this song's awesome. I forgot which one this was. This is a great song. This is Question.
Question.
System of a question with an exclamation point. It's
Yes.
not a question. It's a statement.
It affects the tone.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Question? It's not a question. This is a statement of question right now. And the statement is this. This is a banging. What? Oh, my goodness. I forgot. We'll get to it. It's frustrating. It's an almost perfect song.
So it's very enjoyable. We switched time signatures
Yes.
4 times.
Frequent. But not in a circle back and forth, back and forth.
Yes.
It's progressive.
Yes.
They keep going forward with it, which I
Yes.
think is better songwriting a lot of the time.
I agree. We have different sections. The music video that accompanies it, which is sort of like a play with
Killed
different acts, could almost be similar. You're going from act to act. You're changing act to act, act to act, act to
Scene
act.
to scene.
Yeah, scene to
Sack
scene,
sack.
and you're changing your like time signatures and your sections of the
Yes.
song to kind of go along with the story. So the music video kind of matches up with it of the two children and the eating berries and the kind of
Eating seeds is a pastime activity.
yep, and the kind of poison berries and a life cycle and a spiritual world after you leave your body and kind of death kind of thing.
Is that what you got from all of that? We just watched it. I have never seen this video.
I don't know that I have either actually.
And I forgot which one Question was. And then when we put this on, I was like, yeah, I love this band.
Yeah, this is an awesome song. An awesome song.
The video's cool when they're just sitting down and they look like it's old fashioned. I'm not exactly sure exactly what it's supposed to be, but they're like on a stage reading sheet music, wearing bow ties. It's more like a big band setup almost, like 1930s where you've got everybody in a line, everybody wearing ties, everybody reading sheet music, and it fits. Like the finger picking from the acoustic, the way that Chavo is playing the bass, like something about having them sitting down in that video just really grounds it and really brings those riffs out and shows you like how jazzy and clean they play. Jazzy and clean, dude. This
Yeah.
isn't even like, it's distorted and pounding, but it is like clean. Like it's not garage rock at all. Like
No.
these are perfectly placed. Every note is like in there. It's in the pocket.
It's really 2 verses and a couple choruses. So it's really not a dramatic shift in what's being sang.
Right.
Sweet berries ready for 2. Ghosts are no different than you. Ghosts are now waiting for you. Are you?
Nah. It works. When you say it like that, it sounds stupid. But when he
Right.
sings it, it works.
Do we know when we fly, when we go, do we die?
When we go, that's a good lyric, actually. It's simple, but that's, do we know, do we fly?
And
When we go, do we die?
he's singing that.
We
He's
do.
singing that portion.
We fly,
holding
we
the
don't
notes. Yep.
And that's beautiful. The fact that it's forgettable, there's nothing in it. This is the problem with it. There's nothing in it that is not in any other song. If they just like stopped the music and said like Fuzzy Pickles in the middle of this song, then I would remember that it was the one where they say Fuzzy Pickles in the middle of the song. But there's nothing in it, and it shouldn't be that obvious. But there's nothing. It's just a almost perfect, except for this, which is that there's nothing in it that is super catchy of its own as a hook. Like even BYOB, you're like, that's the one where they say, why do I always send the poor? Or the one where they say, who the heck are you? It's these click in your mind. Like what part of Question clicks in your mind though? It's just not the same kind of song. It's more like an opera song. It's more like I guess the do we know, but it's just not.
I like that portion.
It's not. It's good, but it's not as much of a meme as some of their other hooks, where it's just something you can say. Like even I hope your stepson doesn't eat the fish. Like that's more of like a phrase, more of something that sticks in your mind as a meme. That's the problem with this. It's almost perfect. If they had like a better vocal hook, something to totally separate it out.
Yeah, I suppose.
Where it's like, that's the one, and it's not just
Well, I do like the do we. He certainly hangs on. Serge certainly hangs on.
Yeah.
So I like that piece of it. I do like that it's not as aggressive, obviously, as some of their other tracks, but we do strip it down, and we have some of the singing and some of the stripped down just just guitar
Yeah.
on sections of it. I like that. That we do amp it up a little bit. And then towards the back end, the closing of the song, we do have some typical, the la 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 la.
That part's cool.
Yeah. We get some more of like, oh, we're going to wrap this up, System of a Down, more aggressive, pounding guitars and all that. I actually love this song a lot.
It's good.
I asked this song out.
Did you?
I did.
Let's play it for them. Let's let them, before I reveal my grade. It's not going to be as high as Michael's. I'll just tell you that, because I don't think I have any S's left to give. But I was blown away on the re-listen, and how you go? How about you? You're blown away. This is question with an exclamation point. I hope they enjoyed that as much as we did. That's a terrific song. I am already starting to forget how it goes, though, unfortunately. It's not stuck in my brain, which goes to my point that it's amazing, but somehow unmemorable to me. And maybe that's a problem with me, but you gave this song an S.
Yes.
Easily. What?
Well, not easily.
No.
I had to pick through
Yeah.
some of the top stuff, but I did decide it made my S tier list. As I said, I do talk a lot about lyrics and meaning and good writing and song structure, but I still think we have some good System of a Down elements. I like when they can strip it down a little bit. We get some quiet, some melancholy System of a Down, some
and
chill.
that acoustic, even that does set it. I mean, that's not unique, but it sets it apart a little bit.
Yes. And what did you rate it?
Well, I wrote, this is not what I gave it because I was wrong. I forgot what song it was. So I had a C+ written there. And that's inaccurate. So as we on the re-listen, I love the progressive writing to it, where every time they go back, it's more intense, slightly different rhythm, where they break up the rhythm differently every single time. It's not, and that's how I write songs too. Even if I'm gonna, on the first Dino G album, it's like, if I'm going to repeat the chorus, I'm going to repeat it with a different rhythm. Like if I did it fast, if I did it slow, do it choppy, do it different instead of just repeating the same or verse. Like anything that repeated, I would try to, as the song went, if it was going to repeat, it's like, well, let's take it up a notch or take it down a notch or do something different. We're not going to repeat. We're just going to go forward. And it's like, what else do you want out of a system? I'm like, give it the A+. I'm like, like, what do you want, dude? This is perfect. Like, what could you want out of a song? I think if he said the word question, like if there was a vocal hook that like really stuck, like the dreamin' all right thing. That's not even the same song, is it? No, it is the same one.
Yes.
But that's the problem. They also have dreaming on the same album. They have sad statue, sad question. All these, it's just, which one is which? It's not like the beginning where you've got Revenja. It's the one about revenge. Cigarro, it's the one about the cigar, like something about it. It just doesn't quite have. So I give it straight up A.
All that to get to an excellent rating.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's a terrific, excellent song.
So question. Ben gives it an A.
No question.
And I give it an S. Let's talk about a few other great albums from 2005.
What else do you give an S from this time period? What else were you S'ing out
well,
back in the
so
day?
let's talk about the top 10 albums.
All right.
Top 10 best-selling albums of 2005. A lot of these I listened a lot. Okay, so I'm going to do a countdown here. Number 10 was The Documentary by The Game. You probably didn't listen to a lot of that
No.
one. I own that album, though.
Nice.
The Game's first album, as he was signed to the G-Unit label, though. I listened to a lot of that. Number 9 was Late Registration by Kanye West.
There we go.
Listened to a lot of that. I listened to the first two Kanye West albums a lot with my brothers, actually edited versions, because that's what we picked up from the local library. Edited versions of Kanye West. Number 8 was Love, Angel, Music, Baby by Gwen Stefani.
Gwen, my girl.
Did you listen to a lot of Gwen Stefani?
No, I like No Doubt a lot, but yeah, I don't know which one that is, honestly.
I don't know. I didn't listen to a lot of that either. Feels Like Today by Rascal Flatts. I feel like they were grouped in with Nickelback a lot.
Could have been. I feel like Rascal Flatts is what people wanted me to play at weddings during the food eating part or during the chilling out part. They're like chill, right? They're
chill.
I
Life is a
you.
highway.
Do they
I
do
love
that?
you. Yeah. Yeah.
They do Life is a Highway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Life is a highway.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a cover, but yeah.
Yes, it is.
Huh. I didn't know they did it.
But that was
Like
that cover was
not-
played. The Rascal Flatts cover was played all the time.
They're not like country, but country fans can listen to them.
I think they're like
Or only women are allowed to listen to
country-ish
them.
pop is how
Okay.
I would describe them.
Yeah.
X and Y by Coldplay was number 6 on the list.
All right.
You do not like Coldplay.
At the time, I bet you I would like them now, but at the time, I had no tolerance. Like if the songwriting was they use pianos in Coldplay, right? It's not based around electric metal. It's all about
real keys, baby.
He's playing key. I would like it a lot now. I bet more singer-songwriting. But at the time, I was like, it has to be metal. It has to be distorted guitars. If it's based around the piano, that ain't rock to me at that time. I don't know. What do they call them? Are they rock? Probably not. They probably are like lush pop.
Lush pop. Is that a genre?
Yeah, that's what they call like Elton John and stuff like that, where it's like got violins and stuff in it, and maybe not quite like Elton John, but when it's like pop records where it's all about like horns and violins and like big swells, and it's more of an old school like
interesting. You just call it like
oh, what a wonderful
pop?
World, that type of sound where it's like, I mean, it's probably similar to that too. There's, I'm sure, crossover. They're just guideposts. Yeah. Nothing is hard or fast in a certain. It says a British rock band formed in London.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they have a guitarist, but they don't like base the songwriting around the guitarist, do they?
I don't believe so.
Isn't it more like
yeah, I didn't listen to as much Coldplay. So
it says
perhaps...
rock band, Coldplay, alternative rock, space rock. That X and Y is space rock.
Space rock.
Yeah. Not lush pop, sorry.
That's all right. Not the kind of alternative rock that I'd put in with...
No.
Yeah. Number 5 is Monkey Business by the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
I listened to a lot of that album. I think that was the first one that joined the female, Fergie. I think that was the first time that she joined in the group. Number 4, finally, one that you'll appreciate, American Idiot.
Oh, yeah,
Green
that was
Day.
huge.
That massive. Was big. Didn't they take a long break before releasing that?
Yeah, I think so. Probably before and after that. It was big. I was into rock operas before that. Like my dad had given me Tommy by The Who, and I'm sure I had heard like The Wall by Pink Floyd. So I knew what a rock opera was. And then for Green Day to come out and say, we're going to do a rock. They were the biggest band in the world twice. There's people who thought Wake Me Up When September Ends was like the first record they ever made.
Right.
And they've been making songs since like 1991.
Yeah.
They paid their dues. They were the biggest band in the world in like 93, 94. Whenever Dookie came out, they were extraordinarily famous.
So I'm saying that break. And then that was that break of when this album came out.
There were 3 or 4 albums in between there, but you know, it didn't hit. Once they came out with the eyeliner, the red ties. I mean, they were ahead of the game. Like they were, because they weren't copying anything. Like they were just like, we're just freaks. And then everything else copied them. And that's how it had always been. I mean, everyone had been copying them. American Idiot's cool. It's like a Broadway play and all that. I like the parts of American Idiot, Homecoming and Jesus of Suburbia, the 2 really long, like 9-minute songs where there's a bunch of little pieces crammed in. Those work. That's a rock opera to me. A lot of the rest of it, some of it, you can take it or leave it, some of that stuff. And it's not even quite a rock opera, really. I mean, you know. And I've developed less of a taste for operetics. I want just a really good song. You know, I wanted all that stuff back in the day. I'm like, oh, I want different character. And they don't go this far with it. But this is like where The Who and some of these other bands where it's like having tons of extra instruments and tons of extra vocalists and tons of extra whatever. And it's not really a rock opera. Those 2 pieces are rock operas. Jesus of Suburbia and Homecoming are. And the rest of it's kind of, some of it's awesome. Some of it, there's just no real story. They pretend like there is. Any of these ones where they pretend like there's like a story and it means more than it means, it doesn't. Like it's usually just some decent songs.
I think this album was criticized a little bit by the classic Green Day fans as well.
Sure.
As being more of a pop album than sticking to their vintage stuff.
You know, they sold out when they left Lookout Records, but they've sold out many times since then.
Well, number 3 on the list was Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. I'd just like to know, I listened to that a lot. American Idol was one of the biggest shows in the world still.
Was that her
at that time?
First album?
I believe it was the first one, yeah.
Or the important one?
Yeah, and I don't know if she was the first winner or one of the winners in the first seasons. Scooped that up from my local library to have a listen, and she had 2 or 3 songs off that album that were massive, and she was all over the place. Now she's got a talk show or something.
Doesn't some of that kind of rock a little bit?
Yeah.
It's decent, like rock pop.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Some of that rocks
Kelly.
more. What was I making fun of a minute ago? She rocks more than Coldplay does.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I would rather that. For sure. She had some drums and some stuff.
Some drums and some stuff.
Some guitars.
That was number 3 at just under 3.5 million. Just worth noting because number 2 sold about 4.8. So it's a big jump there to get to number 2, The Massacre, which was 50 Cent's second album.
There you go.
I love 50 Cent. At the time, this was a slip plastic cover into a fold-out case, a soft fold-out case. So that was really cool. Listen to that. Candy Shop, of course, the big song off of that record. And number 1, and this was another jump, over 1 million more copies, pushing almost towards 5 million, was The Anticipation of Mimi, and that was Mariah Carey, who was huge at the time. This was pre some of her vocal cord injuries and disruptions that she had later on. Top Notch. This was an excellent album. This is still an excellent album. Like Jermaine Dupri, who was put out a few albums as a rapper, but was known as a big producer, was on some of this, and great vocals, top songs. Some of this is still vintage stuff, classic hits, but Mariah Carey was number 1 selling album that year. So there are some of your top selling albums of 2005 of note here, since we're talking about top tracks.
Freshman in high school, so that's what was on the radio. That sounds about right. Candy Shop's kind of all anybody cared about. It was either that or Lollipop or...
Yep, Lil Wayne's Lollipop.
I was not into it then. Now I get it. I didn't like it then because that's all people knew. That was the thing. They thought that was like... This is music. Yeah. This is all there is. There's like 4 songs, and 2 of them are 50 Cent, and 2 of them are Lil Wayne. There's no such thing as rock or alternative or metal. Like, it really changed. My grade specifically, I was into like the Pixies and the Smashing Pumpkins. I was into like 90s. I was into a little bit of metal, but more alternative. More... Like, I liked Nirvana. I liked Alice in Chains. I liked more underground. Not underground, but like people doing their own thing. Every person in my is like, nope, we like Candy Shop. We like Lollipop. We like Soulja Boy. That's about it. Like 4 or 5 songs even. Not even like they follow
the discography.
Like Lil Wayne and all of the things he's doing and saying. It's just like, no, we know these 4 or 5. And music turned into that for a long time.
Right.
It was just that. It was just ass shaking music with no... And it's come back. It's come a long way again lately.
We've toned the asses down.
Well, it's just there's more than one vibe. There's the whole universe of poetry and music and everything else in the world. And it's just... There's
lush pop. I mean...
You didn't know that?
No.
There's all kinds of ones you don't know. What do you think they call that Kelly Clarkson album?
I think they called it pop.
Pop rock.
That's solid. I mean, that's good. They just added pop to a lot of things that didn't sound like they were specifically in their niche.
Do you know she has an album called My December? Isn't that weird?
That does sound weird. I mean, there's a Taylor Swift My December. There's a Linkin Park, obviously, as we covered My December. So yeah,
S-tier song.
Can't keep it all straight, to be honest with you. Everyone wants to claim that month. Maybe we should be...
Yeah, whose December is it?
I don't know. What month do we
get?
I
don't think anyone can claim the whole month.
I don't think. It's our December.
Yeah, let's share it. Can we have the people's December, please? And just
Polymuse December.
Co-ownership over the means of December.
But to catch us up, your S-list: Sugar, Suggestions, War, Snowblind, Shame, The Metro, Prison Song, Chop Suey, Bounce, Forest, Toxicity, BYOB. My S-list is Sweet Pea, Sugar, Prison Song, Chop Suey, Deer Dance, Toxicity, Science, Mr. Jack, BYOB, and Question.
We got so much more System of a Down coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned, because we are going to just keep them coming. Keep hitting you upside the head with the System of a Down.
5-star us. We'll talk to you later.